a major change going on in the world right now, mainly in that companies like Tesla are bringing forth wave after wave of electric cars for people to drive. Why is this significant? Because these electric cars are many times the cheapest and most efficient electric cars out there in the world. Plus, they're going to get cheaper if people like Elon Musk have anything to say about it. However, a major fear still among most of the people is that of whether it really is cheaper to get an electric car. So let's ask if electricity for electric cars costs more than gas. Be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. The history of electric cars. Believe it or not, the history of electric cars honestly goes back to the earliest days of the affordable automobile. Engineers had come up with an idea on how to power a vehicle solely on electricity and make it more reliable than gas-powered cars. So why didn't this work long term? Well, back in those days, electricity wasn't as widespread or easy to get in America and beyond, but gas was. And as time went on, it just became easier and more efficient to have gas-powered cars versus electric ones. As time went on, this truth became more prevalent as the electric cars that were made in later decades were good, but not really worth switching over due to their terrible battery rates in terms of miles per charge. With Elon Musk and Tesla, things slowly turned around, but it was only in the last few years that things really started to turn around in terms of price and efficiency. Now there are electric cars that can go well over 300 miles per a single charge, and there are electric car charging stations all over the world. But is that electricity costing you more than the gas that you could put in your car? Cost effectiveness. Scientists at the U.S. Department of Energy's National Renewable Energy Laboratory and Idaho National Laboratory did a breakdown of how much money you could save within the United States by swapping over to an electric car and driving it over the course of its life. Their results were surprising. Electric car aficionados in Washington state can make the best case for the big purchase. Over the anticipated 15-year lifespan of a vehicle, the electricity required to run a battery-powered electric car can be as much as $14,480 cheaper than fueling up an internal combustion vehicle. On the other end of the spectrum is Hawaii. In a worst-case scenario, charging up your electric car could ultimately cost you $2,494 more than topping up a gas tank over 15 years. The reason for this is location. Where, when, and how you choose to charge your electric car generates wide swings in the charging costs, but those could stabilize over time. And as noted, it depends very much on your location versus the actual car that you drive. Cool benefits versus world benefits. In the end, what this really comes down to is the cost of the car. And admittedly, you could buy scores of low-cost gas-powered vehicles for the amount that would take you to buy the lowest Tesla car. So given that, why should you want to get an electric car at all? Well, that would be because while it may be a bit more expensive to buy a brand new spanking Tesla, the cost of doing so is outweighed by the good you're doing to the planet. You see, electric cars are needed now more than ever because of the growth of global warming. Cars are on the road are a major factor in that rising level of greenhouse gases, and electric cars can help stem that tide and bring things down to safe levels once again. You might not think that buying a single electric car can do that much good, but you would be wrong. Every person who gets one of these cars is taking one off the road, and if that continues, it sets a trend and makes things better. This is why people like Elon Musk aren't just trying to go and make electric cars, but make them as cheap and as efficient as possible. So you won't have these fears and just buy the car because you realize it's the best option out there. So what do you think? What do you think of this look at the cost of electric vehicles versus the cost of gas vehicles? You see now why there's a bit of an unstable gap between them, as well as why it honestly shouldn't matter as much as you think because of the benefits of the electric car as a whole. Do you own an electric car right now? Let us know in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe, and we will see you next time on the channel.